Hi guys, my name is Phoenix. Welcome to the channel. I've been playing Conquerors Blade since Season 3. I will be breaking down the game for new players wanting to play Conquerors Blade. I will be releasing a new video every Thursday, covering certain aspects of the game. Conquerors Blade is a game where you control a character in the game with many different weapon classes. You are not restricted to any weapon class, however the weapon you equip determines the skills and armor you are allowed to use while equipping that weapon. In this video I will be covering the creation of a new character along with the tutorial right up until the moment you start in the starting section of the game. So let's begin, and as soon as you log into Conquerors Blade you need to click on the create new character button here at the bottom. So once you click there, then it takes you to this screen. And then to create your character you need to now click here to begin, and once you've now clicked it you can choose male or female. So let's say for hypothetical sakes we are going to choose female, then we go next, and now you get to choose your character's appearance. Now you can choose whatever you want, it doesn't matter what you choose. So I'm just going to be choosing random. Note you can choose eyebrow shapes, eyeshadow, cheek color, lip color, skin tone color, tattoo scars, hairstyles, face presets, all those kind of things. Once you are done creating your character you're going to choose next, and here you need to choose a name. Now for channel purposes we're just going to stick to the name of the channel. And then once you click confirm, you're going to be starting your journey. Choose normal mode. You move with the WASD keys, and first of all we need to choose a weapon. So for starters I'm going to choose a short sword and shield. Good defense, good mobility, not so good attack, but some good CC and a good class to start off with. So yeah, let's go ahead. After we choose our weapon we now need to go and destroy a dummy. So you'll just move to the dummy, press the left mouse button to do a few attacks, and once the dummy is dead you need to now spar with Roderick. So you would walk up to Roderick, press the F button, click on start sparring, and you now need to attack Roderick. Now you'll notice that at the bottom there are some skills that you can use in the bottom middle underneath my health bar. Once you've defeated him you will now get to choose well, you first need to apply bandages, you first need to heal, and then you will be able to choose a different weapon. Now you can choose the same weapon again, but for practice purposes I'm going to choose a different weapon, and I'm going to choose the long sword. Now I'm going to choose the glaive. High attack, moderate defense, but it's more of a glass cannon type character. Now for those of you who don't know what a glass cannon is someone who would go in, do as much damage as possible and then retreat again because they don't have high defense, which means they will take a lot of damage and might die soon. So I'm going to spar with Roderick again. Okay, now if you are not comfortable with the way the mouse and the keyboard works, my suggestion would be to spend some time here getting used to the movements, because once you are playing the game you are going to need to make sure that you are very comfortable with the controls. Just also want to explain the skills that you have for your class. Now over here at the bottom, you'll see that there are skill buttons, which are activated by keys on the keyboard with the corresponding letters that are underneath here. Now, if you approach an enemy and you use a certain skill, you'll see that it has a countdown timer, and this, you won't be able to use this skill until that countdown timer is expired. This countdown timer applies to all of the skills at the bottom here, even the healing, as you can see, and it's usually 60 seconds but can be reduced or extended depending on what skills or runes you choose. The G button over here uses the item. Now usually that is a space reserved for siege artillery or siege weapons in battles, but that'll be discussed later. If you need to block, you would use the right mouse button. Now note that it will not be as effective blocking with the weapon instead of a shield. You will still have a certain number of or certain amount of damage that you can absorb with your block if you're using a weapon. If you see on the left hand side of my character, there's a white shield. Now that would be your amount of block that you have, and as you get hit, that amount decreases. Now note, obviously once it is completely depleted, you will no longer be able to block until it regenerates by itself. Now once you are comfortable with the camera and the mouse and the keyboard and comfortable with the controls and attacks and the skill and all that, you will now need to go and mount on your horse. The first thing that you need to do is ride forward, so you would use your mouse and keyboard, pressing the W key to move forward. Now we need to enter a section where we need to hit the dummies while riding on our horse. Now because you are moving, my suggestion is to press the attack button, which is the left mouse button, just a few seconds before you actually get to the dummy, just to make sure that you hit it while you are riding. So I'm just going to demonstrate quick. Okay, see now, I didn't follow my own advice, so here we go. Yeah, and always make sure that the target is on the left hand side. And to gallop or sprint, you would hold in the shift button. And to dismount, you're going to press the Q button. Now before you leave this area, note that you won't be able to come back and choose another weapon until you get to the main starting area. So if you'd like to still practice a bit and all that, you'd be able to do that here. Now once you're done with everything and your horsey and everything like that, come to this guy, click on the F button, choose weapon, then you still get one final chance to choose your weapon. I'm going to go with short sword and shield. These are the easy weapons, these are the moderate weapons, and these are the hard weapons in difficulty. Now my recommendation would be short sword and shield, or a long sword and shield. They have the highest defense and they are relatively easy to play with. Like I said earlier, you can choose different weapons as the game progresses, but for now, while you're still learning the game, my recommendation would be short sword and shield or long sword and shield. Now once you are happy with your choice of weapon, you're going to click on OK, and then are you sure you want to wield this weapon, and exit this part of the tutorial and click yes. And you'll go to another loading screen where you will be put into a battle that you need to do. Now this part of the tutorial, you will need to command troops in an actual battle, and you'll need to attack certain points, learn how to control your units, what formations to use, all that type of things. So we will start with following the prompts on the screen. The first one is to press the X button which is the hold button. C allows your unit to follow you wherever you go. So wherever you go, they're going to be following you. And the V button, it's a command that lets your units attack any nearby units. Now note, if you press the V button when there's no enemies around, they will not attack anyone unless they are archers and they are in range of the enemy. But if there are melee infantry, they won't be attacking anyone if there's no one around. For the first part of the tutorial, we need to attack point A. So we are going to let our units follow us to attack point number A. Now remember, holding down shift lets your character sprint. Now note that if you sprint, your units will not sprint. They have a set speed at which they move, and that is the point that that is the speed at which they move. Now we need to be taking point number A, and some people have already killed the units here. So to capture a point, you merely just need to stay within the circle for a certain set of time, and then the point will be captured. Once you've captured the point, you need to move to the next point, which is the base point, which is determined by this little tent in this square on the top here, and we will have 27 minutes to capture this point. Okay, the next objective would be to enter the city, so we are now going to do that. Now there's certain skills that certain units are allowed to use. This unit is allowed to use the shield rush skill, which charges them into enemy troops in front of you. The best place to use this is where there's a lot of units in front of you and you need to break their defense or their formation. So I'm just going to be looking for some enemies just to demonstrate this quickly. Now just for the sake of demonstrating, I'm going to do the shield rush. So I'm going to press F2 to get my unit in formation. Press the number 1 skill and you'll see this blue bar that's over here. You will move it in the direction of the shield charge and click, and then the unit will charge. Now fortunately it's just for demonstration, so they didn't attack anyone, but it usually breaks defenses on enemy units. The next objective we need to do is capture the supply point. So you'll see I've moved on to the supply point, and you'll see in the top center there, as the point gets captured, your hero must be on the point to capture it. Your units cannot capture a point. Now once you've captured a supply point, you'd go to the little trumpet here in the middle, press the F button, and then you choose a different set of units. Now for this tutorial, they say we must choose the shield units. We're going to press OK. You'll see at the bottom the time it takes to change the unit. Your unit will spawn in the supply point, and we will now use the shield units to carry on attacking. Now these shield units are good for holding points, as they have certain defensive formations, as you can see here. They do not have a charge skill, but they do have an advanced skill, which lets them move forward with their shields up. I'll demonstrate that in a moment. So you'll see here, skill number 1, it's advanced, and you'll press that one, you'll press the number 1. You'll press the number 1, and then you'll move them to advance. And you see they move with their shields up. So you'd use this too when you're covering from archers or missile units. Now I'm on the supply point again, so I'm busy capturing this point. Once we are done here, we will be moving to the final base point. Now remember, just to make sure that your units don't run away from you, you double tap the C key and they will automatically follow you again. Now we've come across an enemy hero here. I'm going to press the V key so that my unit attacks as well. I'm going to put them in defensive formation because there's enemy troops up ahead. And I'm going to heal while my unit defends. Right, now we can tell my unit to attack. But I'm actually going to use the one skill to shield them from the archers. And there we go. Now we're just going to clean up the rest of the enemy units. And now I'm on the final point to capture the base. Now just a note here, if an enemy hero or unit comes in while you are busy capping the point, the capping will stop and you will have to either kill the hero or the enemy unit before you can carry on capping the point. Now you get to choose units once you finish the first battle. It's always good to have a spear unit for against cavalry, a shield unit to hold points, and a ranged unit. Now this can be the archers or the muskets. That's up to you. I will go with archers. You can choose muskets as long as you have one ranged unit, because you would need to have a ranged unit for battles. Then you also get to choose one of these three units. My recommendation would be squires. They are good melee infantry units. They've got the shield and the sword, and they also have a rush skill, so they are very good for starting off. Once you click OK, you get to choose your starting area. Now I'm going to start in Long Ting, and then I click OK. And that is it, guys. Thanks for watching the first video. If you liked the video, please click on the like button. If you would like to be notified for when I upload new videos, please click on the subscribe button. And if you have anything that you'd like to comment about, if you were having troubles with some things that I've discussed, leave a comment below and we can discuss it. That's all for now, guys. Thanks for watching. Cheers.